Let's talk about seatbelts. Starting with the evolution of the Mazda RX3 seatbelts, we're going to start with the rear seatbelts. The first rendition of rear seatbelts in the United States was these little belts here with these plastic housings, the buckle that had the horizontal slot through it. And when it came to getting your seatbelt on as a rear passenger, that was cumbersome because you had to hold on to these two buttons and work this little ratchet here. And let's see if I can get it to work on camera here. And that's how that worked out. And if you still have these in your car, you're going to want to lubricate this roller here. Maybe little edges here that where it spins. Maybe even drop some in here. So those were replaced from December of '74 through August of '75. These robust retractors came in. It's got a really strong spring. It also came with a new buckle. So the buckle fit into this square. Okay, so there was that. These are not backwards compatible. It holds, but it stays depressed. It wasn't intended to go in there. So these buckles here are for the front and the rear from January of '74 through September of '75. Looking at the front retractors, we've got from car number 1, RX3, all the way through September of '75. We've got this pull-out retractor. It's strong, works great. In the United States, they said, hey, you've got to have shoulder straps. So they came up with some shoulder straps. That's these guys. And these were typically tucked up into the headliner. And you would pull it down when you wanted it, and you'd put it in this little slot here, and that would be your shoulder strap. You know, that's kind of a pain in the butt. And that only worked until September of 1975, when I'm going to show you those in a little bit. Okay, we're going to have a close look at that because those are the ones we're going to be prettying up and putting back in the car. From September of '75 on, they took a modified version of this front retractor and they put them in the rear of the RX3. It's been modified to be backwards compatible with both of the buckles. So it'll hold this guy and it'll hold this guy. From September of 1975 onward, front seat belts varied depending on coupe, sedan, wagon, left or right. Let's take a look at the ones from this car. Just starting to evaluate what do I need to do to get these things ready. So it comes with this housing. This is a '76 now, so this little rubber boot that covers everything. And you got the Mazda buckle. Now this one here I've already taken apart. So this is a piece of rubber that's easy to clean and spruce up. This is kind of like a hard plastic. Again, easy to clean and shine up. Underneath is the metal buckle that you find on, you know, all the earlier models. And, you know, that's easy. I can paint that. So these two pieces ought to be pretty easy. Let's get a look at the rest here. What do we got? So here's one of the shoulder harness, you know, retractable deals. Everything's here. It's intact. It'll take some cleanup. Guess I gotta study this, figure out how to... This piece, hard plastic, that should come off easy. Not sure how I'm gonna shine this stuff up. Maybe it's worth a send-off to a seatbelt guy. Down here, material has been faded. It's not black anymore. Sun's beating it up. Pretty much same deal. Everything's intact except for the fabric being faded. It's no longer black. Got these OEM clips still here. I'll have to see what they look like on the other side. It wasn't present. Not sure how to pretty these up. Everything's connected. So what I gotta decide is whether to send these off, get new strappings, or, you know, I could vinyl dye it myself. Just use some vinyl dye. See how that works. Rear belts, not so good. So one of the buckles is missing. It was just like destroyed by rodents. Pretty much had a family of possum living in the car for a little bit. They just totally ate through this belt here. Fucking took the other half, including the buckle. What the hell? Retractors, a little dirty. I'll shine them up. They'll be fine. So yeah, gotta source new buckles. So we've got the long bolt, the shouldered washer, and a wavy type of a lock washer. Take note that these longer bolts, the longer bolts go with the retractor sections of our seat belts, okay? Seatbelt bolts come with this little, like a cardboard washer on it, and just kind of unthread around it. Don't break them, you need them. They look like that, and there's the bolt. So I'm disassembling everything to get the bolts plated, and I'll put all these little widgets in one spot. So these front guys here came with these spacers on the bolt. Yeah. Spacers are for the front. Seat belts coming off the rear of the green car. Driver's side slightly shorter. Don't know why. Just is. It should be noted that the bolts poke through the bottom of the buckle on both sides. If these were to be flipped upside down, that is when you see the head of the bolt. I sourced a pair of new rear lap belt buckles. I'm not going to use the green car buckles. Hit it with the grease and wax remover first, using the flat black BHT vinyl dye. Vinyl dye from BHT is recommended for seats, carpets. It's not going to come off on your clothes, so I'm using it on my seat belts. And these are long, sun faded. So there's all sorts of debris and shit inside the mechanism for the seat belt here. Trying to get some of this stuff out here. Some of it's come out the top here. That big chunk there. I should just spray it from the top. This mechanism does not come apart easily, and I'm just not inclined to take it apart. I don't want to sandblast it and bead blaster to get some of this, rust off, because then I get blast media inside the mechanism. Want to avoid that. Okay, that's 100 grit. I'm going to take it 220 to it, and then a 320. So after further inspection, these two pins here that are absent from this seat belt here, what those are wires for the sensor. And you see these wires here? And those go back to this cable here, and it's part of the sensor with your little seatbelt light on your dashboard. And they're only on one of them. So nothing wrong with this piece here. It just doesn't have that sensor with the wires. And there we go. So just a little trick here. I'm putting masking on the buttons so that the Mazda logo stays intact. It's actually in great shape. Just a little trick I discovered. I was trying to tuck
sticky tape under there, and of course it wouldn't tuck, it's sticky, right? But what I discovered is put it upside down, get it started, get my little screwdriver here, and then the tape sticks to the screwdriver, it stays, lets me push it under while I depress the button. Get her started, go upside down, sticky side up. That makes it so it'll slide under further, and I can grip it with my little push it down under device, which in this case is a screwdriver. The one I did off camera went a little smoother and quicker. Yeah, see, this one's giving me grief. The side I did off camera, quicker, easier. As soon as I fire up the camera, everything's difficult. But there you have it. Okay. Now I'm just gonna kind of mask off the neck here, and then paint the buckles. Just about ready to go here. I'm gonna hit it with a primer first. Front and rear buckles are all ready to go. It's looking good. And remember, these two guys in the front here, these guys get a hard plastic cover. So we've got that all ready to go on, and we'll put that on in just a minute. Let's get these put back on. I did this backwards, and I need to put this shell on last. Shell goes on last. Yeah, a little bit odd, these later model ones, huh? You've all seen the early models. Little by little, Mazda got a little more refining going on. There we go. Okay, there's some buckles ready to go. I'm about to test the front seat belts, make sure the little locks release, the straps. There's these little electric locks. Let's make sure all that works. I'm pretty sure it will, and then we'll clean these up and get them ready to go in the car. Alright, let's just make sure we can move all the little gizmos here. So red's going here. Black. Working. Okay. The other end of this will be this guy. Working. Excellent. Next. I just want to verify all these work before I spend any time cleaning them up. Working. Let's check this guy.
Don't touch each other. There we go. Okay, happy. Now that I know they will unlock, extend, retract, and do all that smoothly, I'm going to go ahead and clean these up. Better than it was, for sure. You know, most of the rusty pitting is gone. It's got a little bit of shine going on now. I won't be putting them in the car just yet because I want to do the underlay and carpets prior to the seat belts. And that won't be until after I've done things like the dashboard. So I don't want to be walking all over the brand new carpets while I'm installing dashboard and instruments and glove box and air conditioning console, etc. So install of these seat belts will be later, but there we are, have them all ready to go, tested, working, shined up a little bit.
I'm an individual. I'm an individual. I'm an individual. I'm an individual.